I asked you after we talked about the Malaysian flight one, like, do you believe the conspiracy theory? And you were like, I think they accidentally shot it down.
I didn't say it like a Southern person. Oh my God. Hi, girlies.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy first birthday. We are still here a year later. When we first had this conversation about the podcast in Schwartz and Sandy's, were you like, we're going to celebrate a year? You're like, this is going to go a year.
I was like, this is going to go forever.
To the moon.
To the moon. And we lasted longer than Schwartz and Sandy's, or at least like
we
still
did
here
outlive
and they're not.
Schwartz. Oh. Rest in peace. But
shout out to Greg.
Shout out to Greg for spilling the tea. Yes, it is our 1 year anniversary. So we are going to just take a little trip down memory lane and revisit some of our favorite episodes from the year.
So our very first episode, which is crazy to think about, was the scandal with Jeffrey Epstein breaking.
Yeah, that was interesting timing for our first episode.
Like the receipts, timeline, proof.
Fucking everything. Yes.
Was exposed, and we were diving into it. And I think we found our path to conspiracy theories through that in a roundabout way. But
that episode got very, very deep.
Yeah. The core people who are fucked, honestly, and they should be fucked, is Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, what's his name? Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, God rest his soul. You are fucked. Rotten hell,
What
Stephen.
is wrong with you, sir? Like, what? Like, I get it. You know, you need to get your rocks off, but like, you didn't have to be disturbingly.
How does it even go about that you invite Stephen Hawking on a trip to go to an orgy?
What was the event that you met Stephen Hawking at? And
the thing is that Epstein met a lot of like scientists and stuff, and he brought a lot of them. He brought Noam Chomsky, who is like a huge like intellectual and a Pulitzer Prize winner, someone who won like the Nobel Prize for chemistry.
Probably through charity work, because Jeffrey Epstein had charities. Like
that's right.
He created an Israeli one, and he had something else, and so I'm sure through that.
That was also one of the excuses that Bill Clinton gave for being on the jet, is that he was using it for humanitarian purposes.
Yeah. Let's talk about Bill Clinton for a second. Mr.
Slick Willie.
Slick fucking Willie, dude. Like, wow. He should get an award for how slick this man is.
I've never seen anybody more slick than Slick Willie.
Like, what an alternate universe that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton are like both the same.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Bill Clinton doesn't say what controversial things that
Bill
Trump
Clinton
has said,
didn't say that he didn't say you got to grab him by the pussy. But Bill Clinton definitely has grabbed them by the pussy.
Yeah. We forgot to mention what we've smoked.
Right.
Circles sativa is what it says. Expand your circle.
Ooh.
Is the tagline.
I love that packaging.
That it's magnetic. Mm-hmm. Big fat joints in here. Now I keep wanting to say big fat blunts because it's Claire. Yeah, pretty good.
Love it.
Very high.
I feel like our Epstein episode led us to talking about the Diddler. It was like it unfolded so quickly.
Yeah. It has opened a pathway for that to unfold. I truly think, because we recorded the Epstein episode, I think even before 2024 started. Mm-hmm. And then if we're parallel pathing to the Diddy timeline, Cassie came out with her lawsuit, I think in November of 2023. Mm-hmm. So it's all coming to,
oh my God, yeah,
all roads pointing to Diddy in a way. It's interesting how I think Jeffrey Epstein maybe gave her that oomph to come forward and
yes,
sue.
So true.
Justin Bieber is not even mentioned in this deposition, but that video that you sent me,
the Yummy video, the Yummy music video.
No.
Oh my God.
Wait, maybe you did send. No, it was somebody else sent me a video. I like kind of.
Oh, he was like clearly uncomfortable. Justin Bieber.
Diddy was like, "Why didn't you hit me up to hang out?" And Justin Bieber is like 15 maybe.
Yeah.
And Justin Bieber just starts stuttering like, "Oh, I didn't have your number. I'm sorry." I mean, we could be reading into that situation, but it was just weird.
There is no reading into the Yummy music video.
What is that?
He's long story short, he's in this like banquet hall, this very fancy place, having a dinner party like with multiple tables of people. And the people are all eating the most disgusting food, but they're like very hoity-toity. So it's just like a cottage cheese thing and it's like getting everywhere. And these people are like clinking champagne and stuff, but it's like disgusting, right? And he's singing like yummy, yummy the whole time. At the end of the music video, they put a plate down and it has the word yummy and it has a childhood photo of Justin Bieber as if it were being served at the dinner to all these wealthy, bougie people. Yes.
That's
are
weird.
you like picking up on that?
Picking
like
up what you're putting down, like
he's saying that some societal elites
video.
Right.
So why would
that's directly from him telling us that these like high society people are consuming children and like young stars who are trying to come up. Wow. And they're disgusting. They're eating these disgusting things and they're like dressed really weird and like and he is one of the things that they are being served.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate, he is definitely just taken advantage of as a child in his career.
In every single way. Yeah.
So that could be what that means, but that's interesting.
I feel like in the early days, one of my favorite episodes was also our Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah.
With our booze.
It was so cute, so romantic, so early.
Seeing like our mic stands, wow.
Watching, yeah. And the angles. The camera angles. Yeah.
It was hectic.
That was crazy. But it's fun to have episodes like that where it's like, wow, look what we were and look at where we've come to.
So my sophomore year, I lived in a garage. It was a built-out garage. It had like a heater, sink, also had a toilet in there. It was all one room, and I lived with somebody else. We had, like the paper screens. We didn't have it like open to the air. Like we had it blocked off and it was in the corner.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. So the toilet was like, it was giving, like, I hate to say this, but the only thing I can think of is like a prison cell.
Sure.
Like the toilet is
it was open stall.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the corner.
It was in the corner.
Okay.
This was a converted garage into a living facility.
And you shared that.
I shared that. Yeah. Okay. With my best friend.
So you guys would put up the screen. When you were using it.
And you would poop in there too?
Yeah.
Would you like make him leave?
No.
You would just shit with him.
And they both had girlfriends at the time, mind you.
We both had girlfriends. Oh yeah. Hey, neither here nor there.
So what did your girlfriend say at the time when you would shit in the same
I don't
room?
think we would do it while they were there.
But
I think
like,
it was
did
more
she ever
just
say,
like
this is disgusting?
Sure.
What if you went over there like
but
as
it was
the
also
girlfriend
desperate
Girl,
for
I already
living.
broke up with him in college. That would have been
No,
like,
I'm talking about like when the girlfriend comes over, what if you have to poop and then you're like
we had an inside house that had two other bathrooms.
There's
that
13
could go
people
inside.
in this house. Again, different house, but still a lot of people.
But you also got
like
post-coital pee you gotta do.
Oh,
yeah, but they're coiling with the other
fine.
person in there anyway. So what's pee?
We have so many episodes about conspiracy theories.
I have my tinfoil hat upstairs.
Mine's in the car.
I'm not going out there.
No, see, that's why we need to keep it on deck at all times.
I'm gonna put it in there.
Yeah,
I'll put them in there.
I'll get mine from. God, it's so loud though.
I know, but for the listeners, they'll know that we're putting on
the
shower
caps.
Yeah,
and I love that it's a shower cap too.
Yeah, our conspiracy theories went very, very deep. I will never forget. I asked you after we talked about the Malaysian flight one, like, do you believe the conspiracy theory? And you were like, I think they accidentally shot it down.
I didn't say it like a Southern person.
I don't know why I did that.
Do you not believe any conspiracy theory?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't believe most of them.
Like, none of them legitimately? Or do you like to, like, poke fun and be like, did you know? Because personally, I think the Scorpio in you likes to be like, this conspiracy theory, da-da-da-da, and then you sell it so well. Then I think on the inside, you're like, no, that didn't happen.
Yes, that is true.
Do you see how problematic that is?
I'm spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
I let you guys believe that Princess Diana was killed by MI6. And honestly, I don't think she was. No, but I never said I believed that. I said on the episode I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone killed her besides the driver in the car and trying to get away. I think the paparazzi kind of killed her.
Low-key, indirectly.
You know, indirectly for sure.
One of the biggest conspiracies pushed by Dodi's dad and a lot of people in general is that the royal family conspired with MI6, which is basically like the UK CIA, to kill Lady Di.
And his son.
He was collateral damage.
But that's why he was really upset too.
Oh, yeah. That's why, yeah. He was basically saying that my son was murdered as collateral damage for some shit he had nothing to do with, and no one ever remembers that he was even there.
And the royals are, from then, are not ever allowed to shop at Harrods or stay at the Ritz.
Really?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Which nowadays is like, okay, big whoop. I can't go into a department store. I'll like send my person. But back then
that's
it was
sending
like
a message.
Ooh, yes.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
It's like saying in the 90s you can't go to Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom. Like it's like their department store.
Yeah, just like, I mean, to me it's like for a layperson being told you will never be allowed in another Cheesecake Factory again.
Or you will never be allowed at Disneyland ever again.
That. The people who get banned from Disneyland, bless your heart.
My God. Well, you know, like I believe aliens are real.
I believe in that too.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not proven.
It's not. Just because something's not proven doesn't mean it's a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory requires like a larger, like the government knows about aliens and they're covering it up. Like that's a conspiracy theory. It requires a conspiracy.
But there is one.
What is it?
Area 51.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I believe in area.
I don't think people really believed aliens were real before that.
No.
And that perpetuated that.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely think that aliens are real.
I like conspiracy theories because they kind of feel like a puzzle. They really make you head scratch, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely love investigating them and talking about them. More to come in 2025.
Oh, boy. Another big moment from this past year in our year of High Girlies was Quiet on Set.
Oh, my God. That was major.
Like, I think every year, I think there's one documentary or docuseries that really goes viral. Like to me, like the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, like that documentary was like that year everyone watched it. I feel like last year it was like Quiet on Set.
Yeah, I feel like in 2020 it was Tiger King.
Yeah.
Every year has its thing. That's so true.
Yeah.
Quiet on Set was major though, because I was like really a Nickelodeon kid.
Well, who put that out?
HBO.
Not Paramount.
Or sorry, Max.
Yeah. God forbid Paramount.
Oh no, Paramount would never.
Yeah. But it was interesting watching that documentary and hearing everything, and it's just so eye-opening and it's so sad, and it also really like kills nostalgia for you.
Yeah.
And our generation is so big on nostalgia.
I will never support the Amanda Show. Like anytime I see an Amanda Show clip, I'm just like, oh,
I know. I always think when I see her now, I'm like, what could have been?
Damn.
She could have been like.
And she really was. Like she was on her way.
Yeah. I loved all that as a kid. Like I was obsessed. I remember going to like an all that like taping, but like it was like at Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Oh.
And it was like all that, and then they had like Backstreet Boys perform, and then Nick Carter was like I'm going to introduce like a new singer to you guys, my little brother, Aaron Carter. And then he came out. It was wild, but like, it was literally all of that and a bag of chips. Like it was
I can't, first of all, I can't even believe that you were introduced to Aaron Carter. That's insane.
No, it was, well,
not like, you know, like he debuted Aaron Carter to you guys.
He was like, must have been, I don't know how much older, rest in peace. I don't know how much older Aaron Carter was, but he must have been like 11, 12.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like he was so young. But yeah, it was iconic, but it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting feeling, something that you love so much as a child, and then knowing how horrendous it was. It's kind of like, you know, for maybe our parents, like they loved O.J. Simpson so much, but he is a killer.
Or like they love the Cosby Show, and then it ends up like Bill Cosby's doing all this shit. But my question is like, yes, we liked the show, but weren't our parents seeing the stuff that was happening on the show and being like, wait, is that a dick?
Were your parents?
No.
My parents, definitely not, because I also feel like, I don't know, I would watch MTV like in middle school. And then I remember from time to time, my dad would be like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, what is this shit? And I would be like, oh, you know, it's what like my friends are watching. So I don't really feel like they paid that close attention to what was going on. I mean, even they talk about in the special, the hot tub scene.
Yes.
That happened so often. Like, that was low-key.
I remember that.
How they would open the Amanda Bynes show or the Amanda show. Like, yeah. And so the fact that they were like, that's disgusting that he was in a hot tub with her.
But he was fully clothed.
I know. That's why I really didn't think it. That kind of felt like a stretch to me. But
yeah. It's just the humor was just so weird that I think it could kind of skirt by. Like the nose man, like basically cum shot with like the snot. Like
I would never
think that was weird.
I don't even know if my parents would have clocked that as weird.
I feel like we've also had incredible guests. Honestly, when we first came up with the podcast, I wasn't even really thinking of guests.
So interesting.
You were immediately like, we're going to have guests?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, we have to.
Oh my God. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, we're going to do this shit.
I think because I enjoy learning about people's stories, and like through podcasting, I want to like spread people's stories and what they've done and where they've come from to like learn from one another. And we learned a lot from Asha. Shout out to Asha.
Asha.
She needs to come back. That's a repeat. Okay, so if I had to pick who I would repeat as guests for this year, Asha is number one.
She got her nickname from basically expressing just on every live that she exclusively dates inmates. Like, she doesn't date anybody in the free world. She'll only date inmates. And
how does that work? Did she explain this?
She like writes to them, and somehow, you know, obviously it's because they are using her, like wanting her money, and she'll just talk about that. But like, she'll be like, oh my God, yes, like my boyfriend. Yeah. We just talked today on the phone. Like, I just set up my JPay account for him.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, okay.
Not a JPay.
All right.
Does she get to sleep with them?
No. Like, they're incarcerated for like really awful things. So she's a bad mom, berates people who send her money on live, mocks her boyfriend's victims, says the N-word, and much, much more. She really has her own cinematic universe too. So anyways, so Ashley is 35. She lives in Texas. She has 2 daughters that like live part-time with her. So they live like a little bit with her, a little bit with her, mostly with her parents. And she's just like a deadbeat mom. And she's been married twice. So like the first time she was married, she had like 2 kids with him. Those were with her daughters. And she always used to talk shit about her baby daddy on live. And then he ended up getting leukemia.
Live?
Yeah. And he ended up getting leukemia, passing away. And then like not even long after that, she was on live being like, oh, fuck my baby daddy. Oh wait, mine's dead. So she was actually, and this is still like going on where she's like obsessed with this guy, but she was talking to this inmate named Jesse, who this is like when she started getting like viral over like the summer. She was like obsessed with him and actually like live streamed. He was getting released. So she live streamed him getting out of prison, picking him up. And then they like got married and the relationship lasted, I want to say 2 weeks.
Wow. Followed by Claire, even though it technically came out this year, but Claire will be coming back for sure.
I didn't have a lot of access, but then I, joined this friend group kind of late high school, and there was a little bit of going around, and I would like puff it a little, and I like nothing was going on. Like I just didn't like the taste, and I didn't even feel anything. So I just sort of didn't think about it. Then I go to Chicago and I go to art school, and it's everywhere, right? Like everywhere. And so the first time I tried it like full out, I went home that night and I brushed my teeth and I spit black.
I remember this story.
This was like one of the first stories that Claire ever told us.
We both looked at each other and we were like, what?
It's a key part of the origins.
It is. I completely
What do you mean? I think I know what you mean, but can you explain for those at home?
I went out to a house party of sorts, and there was a bowl being passed around and all this, and we were all just doing it. And then I proceeded to party the rest of the night, and then I went home, and you're getting into bed, and I brushed my teeth and I spit like inky black. like
Had you not ingested other things after you'd smoked though?
I mean, I wasn't like eating like squid ink pasta,
or like a chocolate cupcake.
Charcoal. No, I don't know. It was no, it wasn't like chocolate. It was like
black,
like ink. Yeah,
bizarre.
And so it like scared me. I screamed when I saw it, and I was like, "This is over." And so,
oh my god!
But also, same night, same spit.
Bria's already crying.
I know. Same night, same spit. I was like, I still didn't feel high. Like, what? I just kind of felt.
Well, yeah, because you smoked ash. And it just stayed in your mouth for hours.
I don't know why the fuck you spit black. There was something had to be happening with that.
Maybe you didn't smoke weed.
Did you check with other people? Mark Levine, frankly.
Oh, okay. There
no?
He can. He just fell asleep on the podcast.
Right. But for the first hour, he was amazing.
I mean, he has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, so he can come back.
We were on a surfing trip in Costa Rica, and I invited my friend Dave and his son and my friend Bob.
I love that you remember this as much as I remember.
And my friend Bob, and he's the guy that got lost in the airport because he ate a brownie on the plane, and we said, Bob.
At 4 a.m.
I said, Bob, you shouldn't be doing that, And we lost him in the Miami airport. I said, you need to be sober here, buddy.
He
we're
was
traveling.
Like in line for Chick-fil-A, and we were like, hello, we're over here.
Yeah. So he goes, I got to go get something to eat. I got the munchies. I'm hungry. I said, don't get lost. This is Miami. It's like a maze. You're going to get lost in here,
So you were witnessing this.
Oh, yeah. And pro tip, I don't know if you know this. If you eat an edible and you fly because you're above altitude, you're going to feel it a lot more than if you ate it here. Oh, it's like drinking.
Yeah, you have to be very careful because
pro tip.
Dose titration, talking about my pharmacology training. You have to be very careful when you ingest something because you can get like no feeling, and then all of a sudden it gets absorbed and you can get pounded, and you should really be careful, like underdose it. If it says this is a dose, like a quarter of this or half of this or something, take a quarter of it, and let it feel what it's like, because if you're smoking, imbibing that way, it's gradual, like you take 1 or 2 puffs and then you leave it alone. So it's hard to titrate the response. You have to be very careful with edibles, I think, because that's a whole different mode.
Oh, we know.
So anyway, to answer everybody's experience. I had a friend one time I golfed with, and he goes, "I'm freaking out, man." I'm like, and he goes, "I gotta go to the hospital." And by the way, I don't know if anybody who's died from a marijuana overdose. I don't think. I've had bets with people; they couldn't find evidence of that. But you do.
I've had times where I've taken an edible and I was like, I'm going to be the first person to overdose on weed right now.
What?
You just drink.
Because I was freaking out.
Yeah, I had my friend just, don't go to the hospital. Just drink like a gallon of water and flush it out.
Go to McDonald's.
It's water soluble,
You need to go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
In and out. I would have Horace back on for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. Horace's episode
really
was
dish
so
it
good.
With us. Yeah. when someone that you love is like going down this path, how can you like help them, kind of like curb them from going there, or can you?
I think the second part of it is probably the most accurate. Like, there was no one who had the power to be able to stop me. It wasn't my friends, it wasn't my mom. I think like a lot of the consequences that had happened along the way certainly informed and certainly made a lot of little cracks to the delusion that I was able to drink normally and sustain this. So over time, a lot of those conversations, eventually like the glass broke and it all fell out and I was like, I gotta get sober, right? So I don't want to say that like it doesn't help at all, but the expectation that one conversation might just change someone's relationship with drugs and alcohol. It might be that one conversation that might bring change, but I would be very surprised if that was the only conversation that ever happened. I had a lot of consequences that led to me getting sober. And so I think when someone's in relationship, friend, family, whatever it may be, with the addict or alcoholic, there's unfortunately like a certain level of detachment that I think is necessary for the non-addict, non-alcoholics, like emotional maintenance. There is a form of separation, and I think in some cases it can feel like grieving, because you are grieving the reality that this is normal. You're like, this is abnormal.
Yeah.
This is not okay. I'm gonna like focus on, and for me, that's what worked. Ultimately, that's what got me sober, was this boy who had been so isolated and lonely, doing everything to have friends, wanting to fit in, yada, yada, yada. And then I'm an adult now, drinking the same way, well, not the same way. I'm drinking much more intensely than I was in my youth, but still drinking nonetheless. And suddenly I'm lonely. And suddenly this thing that I had used to connect with people was actually the thing that was disconnecting me from people. And so because I had had this social isolation that felt so similar to when I was like 14, I was like, alcohol. Like, how dare you? Like, you were supposed to be my friend.
Yeah.
Like, you were supposed to connect me to people. Weed was supposed to connect me to people, but I smoke weed and then I want to drink. And then when I drink, I start problems. So, like, fuck all this, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was, unfortunately, everyone leaving me that got me sober.
Really?
So it wasn't everyone like holding my hand being like, it's okay, Horace. Like, it was like, no, dude, you need to go figure this out.
What about you?
I loved Hannah. I love that astrology shit, that manifesting shit. I did eat it up. And I think a lot of the girlies out there ate it up as well.
Yeah.
And I was in this job that I was really excelling at and that I loved, but I knew my heart wasn't completely in it. And I was in it for a while, and there were weird dynamics in the workplace, and it was a really hard environment for me to be in. And so I ended up quitting after almost 2 years of being there with no idea what I was going to do. I just had a calling that I needed to quit. I had a lot of weird experiences happen. Like, I crashed my car into a pole in a snowstorm and like almost totaled it completely. I broke my foot in my sleep. This was all within like a 2-week period. I had a random virus that put me out in the hospital, and I still have effects of like, I have skin stuff. I thought I had lupus for a while because the way that the illness, they don't even know what it was, but within 2-3 weeks of each other, this all happened, and a lot was going on at work. And I said to myself, if I don't leave, like, this is them telling me, universe telling me that I need to go. And so my spiritual journey had started because of the breakup, and I started to find who I was through that. And then realizing that all those things as a child that made me different or weird per se, where it was because I was different and I was societally weird, because I had gifts that I wasn't taught to nourish. I wasn't taught to understand, because nobody in my family knew what it was. We were Christian, Catholic. I went to Catholic school my whole life. It was completely bizarre. And I started to figure out who I was, and I found that I started to stand up for myself more, and I started to recognize myself more. And I needed to leave that job because I really didn't see an option. And I came out to LA because I was just visiting my family and doing the things I loved, coming out here and visiting my family. But I was out here in April after I quit my job, and I was surrounded by a lot of people who were medical mediums, and I was on a journey with healing my body through food as well, through this whole process.
Wow.
And so I was almost taught in that moment that was my gift, the channel, bringing people to me that were the people I was supposed to be like, emulate, channel the information. And I went back home and I realized in that moment that what I needed to do was to be a healer and to help people heal naturally through the earth and spirituality and the things that we're not taught as a society, and to make them feel like they can heal from the things that have made them feel like they couldn't survive. And that was really important for me, and that's how I started all of this and how this like all came together for me.
Wow.
Oh my God, I see so many like major connective moments in that.
Yes.
You're like, I'm in this corporate job and I don't know what to do, and the universe is like, bitch, I'm gonna break your foot so
Yeah.
you can't make it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
oh, you're still
crazy.
going, I'm gonna make you sick so that you
Yes.
like only have yourself.
Yeah.
You're by yourself. You have to figure it out on your own, and you have to try different things, changing the way you're eating, starting, whatever it is. It's like everything is so
Connected.
We should
Let me
do
tell you who I
something with
wouldn't
them.
have back.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Sorry if we are missing anyone, but those were like I think this has been a journey for all of us this year, trying to figure out what you guys like, what we like talking about. And I feel like those episodes had a lot of great, like, through line
Topics.
to everything in what we were trying to do.
Yes.
Hot topics, weed. We want people who feel comfortable talking about weed, smoking weed. And if they don't smoke weed, because Horace doesn't technically, or at least feel comfortable talking about it, or like their journey with it.
Yeah, and he was like super open about his sobriety journey and everything that he's gone through. Like, I feel like those kind of episodes are very, very important.
Yeah. As we wrap up our first year together, through the good times, through the bad times,
Through the weird times, there was a lot of trial and error.
A lot of trial and error
we experienced.
My hair color also changed a lot.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we're really sorry about that. Because one episode it's black, and then it goes back to blonde, and then it's black again, and then it's getting lighter.
Do you think anyone noticed that?
Let us know
They're
in the
like, "Why does
comments
she have
if you
black hair
did.
again?"
Yeah,
Oh my God.
fuck, it was horrible. But my question for you, and maybe we'll ask a different question each year, I don't know, but if you had to pick anyone in your dream blunt rotation, who is in your dream blunt rotation?
I've given this question zero thought.
Great.
I'm going to go ahead and say I would have Nene Leakes.
Wow. Okay.
I just need some high energy.
Yeah.
I would have Kelly Clarkson.
Huh.
To chill the mood a little bit. Funny. She's funny.
Uh-huh.
I would have Michelle Obama. Wisdom, one-liners. You know when you're high and someone says something, you're like, damn, I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Like that. And let's round out the list. I'm going to go with Chris Kirkpatrick for a little eye candy.
Okay.
What about you?
Snoop Dogg is at the head of the table, and I'm sitting right next to him. I can't wait. I'm so
I didn't
excited.
pick like anyone who actually
Smokes weed. I just want to know what it's like to smoke with Snoop Dogg. Like, I feel like I need to know. And then I feel like I would probably have Chelsea Handler.
Oh.
She's a high girly, and if she wants to come on this podcast, she is more
That'd
than
be
welcome.
fucking crazy.
But I think she's really funny and is also snarky. And I've always just wanted to see what she would be like on drugs. I've read a couple of her episodes, so like smoking weed.
Oh, I feel like she'd be really funny.
Yeah. I would definitely put Barack Obama in there.
He does smoke weed.
Yeah, he would be hilarious and chill vibes for sure. And then I would probably put T.S. Madison.
That is not where I thought you were going.
Wow,
that's a good one.
Favorite TikTok of all time, if it does die. I will have to go download this video because I don't want it to ever die.
Please do.
Is her thinking that Selena Quintanilla, or however you say Selena's last name, was Puerto Rican.
And that is not the first time you have brought that up on this podcast.
It's my favorite TikTok. It's hilarious. I mean, it is fucked up for sure. But
no, T.S. Madison is hilarious.
That's like quintessential pandemic bullshit. Her putting on a wig, being bored as fuck, being like, Selena wasn't Puerto Rican. A bitty bitty bum.
She had another viral clip that I can't remember what it was, but that's how I found her, and she's super iconic.
She's had a lot. I would have her, and then I would tandem that. I would definitely have like a drag queen blunt rotation for sure too.
Oh, okay.
RuPaul, Bob the Drag Queen, Monet
RuPaul,
Exchange,
really?
and Mo Hart. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe not.
I feel like he'd give me a little anxiety.
But I feel like watching him on his Call Her Daddy episode, I was like, he would be dropping some real shit
Knowledge.
on there, you know?
Knowledge for sure.
But definitely Bob the Drag Queen. I'm very much enjoying watching Bob on Traitors.
I love it. I love seeing him like read people and they're just like confused.
Yeah. Because also I partially think that because no one came, or I think because they came for Peppermint so hard that I think people who don't really know drag queens are probably afraid to go after Bob. But then Bob
did go for Peppermint
off the
for
bat.
no fucking reason.
Trishelle, she did, and she won. But anyway, Peppermint is not like Bob. I love Peppermint, but Bob, even if you watch Bob's season of Drag Race, he is so strategic.
Oh, really?
I mean, Bob is like not really in the beauty sense, talented queen. He is cunning. He's a comedian.
Clever. Yeah.
And comedians are some of the smartest people we have. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm rooting for Bob for sure.
Me too. Oh my God. Bob the Drag Queen was in my dream Big Brother cast. I was like, we need, like, for Celebrity Big Brother, we need Bob the Drag.
Yeah.
But seeing him in the Traitors, it scratches the same itch.
I'm surprised you didn't say Trisha Paytas is in your blunt rotation.
It came to me when you were talking, and I was going to be like, you know what? Oh my God, let me add her.
Yeah.
I honestly think that she would be very anxiety inducing when you're high around her because she is so high energy, but she is very unintentionally funny, and I think that really lands well in the blunt rotation.
Yeah.
So I would consider it.
Who's your nightmare rotation?
Ooh, I would have to say, who is that guy? Cole LeBrant from the LeBrant fam. Have you heard of them online? No. Good. Nightmare of a man. Want nothing to do with him. Mark Zuckerberg. Obvious reasons, I think, for that one. I'm going to be honest and be a little controversial. Taylor Swift.
We've talked about that before.
Not into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not into it. Yeah. And let's see, who can I round out the list with? I'm going to go ahead and say, Britney Spears.
I was thinking her too.
Chaotic.
Too chaotic and nerve-wracking, honestly. But yeah. I hope her mental health is okay.
Love her. Don't want to be high with her.
No.
Yeah.
I think for me would probably be someone currently top of mind who annoys the shit out of me off of 2 episodes is that girl from Survivor on Traitors.
The blonde girl?
The tattoos.
Oh, yes.
Does she not annoy the shit out of you? She's too like...
You cannot be on this show. You cannot be on the show. You can't take the pressure of it.
No.
It's too much.
And you're on Survivor. But I don't know. See, I don't watch it like that anymore. So I don't know what I know who Boston Rob is, but I don't know what he's like done. But I know he's like master manipulator. Like, if you're a gamer... You gotta be good. I love
that show. This is why I love that show. It takes the best gamers.
And Nico like doesn't really like watching a lot of reality, but when he came home and he saw that I was watching it last night, he was like, "Oh, like I need to watch this with you right now." Like he really, I don't know what it is. It's just so
dark. It's cunning. It's just like I love it.
It's so simple though too. It's so
it's interesting.
I know, but it's like.
You know what? It's like a sociological experiment happening.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're into it.
It's interesting, though, because it's like a kid's game.
Yeah.
You know?
But it goes deep into like the human psyche.
Yeah. So fascinating.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to finishing up that season And continuing High Girlies in 2025 with a fresh 2025 lease on life. Even though everything is burning, literally and figuratively, we will persist.
Yeah, I mean, by the time that this episode comes out, hopefully nothing is on fire anymore. And I guess another nightmare rotation would be Trump. He cannot be in my...
You know what? He gives me drag queen vibes. Mm-hmm. He would be like, Ron DeSanctimonious, like, doing all this. Gavin Newscum. Like, he, if he weren't a politician, he would be a little funny. But because he is a politician, it's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else would be in it. It would be a nightmare. My mother? I don't know. She'd probably be okay. My mother-in-law, though, probably not.
They don't smoke weed.
No. And I don't know. I can pretty much smoke weed with anyone. The nightmare one is tough. I'm trying to think of people who are like...
Who's like your least favorite celebrity ever that you would hate to be around smoking a blunt with?
MGK.
Ooh.
I hate him so much. Ugh. He doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Also, I don't really like Emma Stone that much. She would be in a nightmare. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like
interesting.
She's too... I don't know.
Kooky?
No, because I'm kooky. Maybe it gives a little pick-me a little bit. Is that bad?
I don't know if I've ever heard that about Emma Stone.
Oh,
that she's
really?
a pick-me?
A little bit, but maybe not anymore.
Does she like appeal to like men?
It kind of felt like that when she was up and coming, and then like, what'd she do before La La Land? I don't know.
Easy A.
Just felt like for a time she was in everything, and I'm like, why are you in that?
Oh.
You know, like it feels random that you're in that. But no, it's
honestly,
not. It's
I've never even
down.
like thought of her.
Like,
really.
wasn't she in that one movie with
Spider-Man?
Yeah, like why are you? Well, that movie sucked anyway.
Never watched it.
That was a bad Spider-Man. Anyway, that's who it would be. Period. End of story.
End of
Moving
story.
on. Cut
Period. The tape. Cut the cameras. Okay, follow us at High Girlies Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Rate us on Spotify and follow us there. And we will have a fantastic 2025 with our girlies.
Woo!
Okay.
Bye, girlies.